Hey everybody, McNaughty here, and this week we are at Circuit de la Sarthe, the 24-hour Le Mans track. We're using the Group 1 cars. Most of us are using Porsche 919 hybrids. There are a couple 787Bs, a couple other Vision Gran Turismo cars. But we've been here for all of week 50 of 2022. And it's really a quest to get a win here. There's two distinct strategies. One is you can pit halfway through, as Sir Lead with the patriotic livery tries to make his way through unsuccessfully. You can either pit halfway, or you can fuel save. So I believe fuel saving is the optimal strategy here. So show you three races here that do go ahead and do that. Now, as I went into that corner, I got held up a little bit by Yuri. That created this kind of catastrophic and chaotic situation right here. You see there, we're in a group of 5, so I'm going to go ahead and try to stay out of trouble, but trouble somehow finds me right here. And I'm into the wall. But what I found this week is that, if you persevere, you can usually get a good result. I mean, there are 5 laps. Each lap takes over 3 minutes, so there's time to recover from your mistakes. As I get back on track, and Dave phases through me, because I missed it. We're going to skip ahead here. Again, perseverance is the key, so we're not going to rage quit. We're going to keep trying to make our moves. There's an opportunity, and we're into the wall again. So not off to a good start, but we're not gonna rage quit. We're just gonna keep on going, because eventually we're gonna see that everyone else has an opportunity to make a mistake just like I did. Now we're gonna take it through the Porsche curves here. Flat out in most circumstances, unless you're that guy or this guy and you get tangled up. But look at that, just like that, we're up to P13. In general, yeah, if you're trying to follow someone through there, it's going to be really difficult. There is some dirty air. That's where you're going to feel it the most as we go through the final 2 chicanes. And after 1 lap, we're down 10 positions, but we're going to cut forward here to the end of the back straight. And I thought we were making some good time, but unfortunately we go 1 pixel off the circuit, and we're going to get ourselves a half-second penalty. So that doesn't make our fight to come back into this any easier. Now, stop it here and make sure we don't have a repeat of what happened on last time, because that would have been catastrophic. Now we're going to skip ahead here. There's a yellow flag, so at this point I'm thinking, okay, there's someone we can pass, and it's the guy from earlier, Sir Lead, with the patriotic livery, and he goes a little bit deep trying to, desperately hold on to P12, and we're going to loop forward here to the end of the Porsche curves, which we talked about, and then we have P11 Killer Tofu 87, and we have our first instance of someone doing the wrong strategy. P10 Dave going in after lap 2. It's really not the right strategy here, but it might be his first time doing this daily. I don't know. We're gonna skip forward here. And we're going to come across someone who tunes into our streams, Primordial. Looks like something happened here, so let's skip ahead. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that there's some kind of contact here, because this guy in P8 has a 6-second penalty. We're going to tuck into the slipstream and try and get the overtake done as we go around him on the left. And we can see a little bit in the distance, we see our next target, the green bear. So into next set of chicanes. Good exit there. We make sure we don't get a penalty. We're gonna loop all the way around the track. Good exit here, and if we get a good exit out of this turn, this 90-degree right-hander, there's an opportunity as he slips a little bit. We can tuck right into the slipstream, and it looks like we have just enough battery to get around the inside, and we're going to keep it in 6th for a little bit longer than he did, as you can hear him upshift, because we don't want to be in a situation where we're trying to follow closely in the Porsche curves. It's very difficult to keep control of the car. As you see, he's fallen back behind. And this last turn especially, you got to really commit. And he did not, so he went wide. That's usually good for a half-second penalty. And what's even more surprising is we have 2 other people going into the pits. This is not the right strategy, but it helps me. So we're going to be up to P5, and we're going to fast forward here to the final lap. And I'm thinking that, you know, P5, top 5 finish is pretty good, but we have, oh no, facing the wrong way, as you can see there. We're going to go for it a little bit more. Again, we're content with P4 considering where we were. And yellow flag. Could this be P3? It is, and we're going to go ahead and try to get past this guy and retake our original starting position after, you know, falling back and having those 2 incidents and penalties. We fought our way back as he tries to follow us through the Porsche curves. Again, very difficult to do, as you can see him drop off in the rearview mirror. So as long as we complete this last section of the circuit, we're going to take it home and finish with a P3. As you can see there, we left the memories of our binning it behind. So for this next race, we're starting at P2. And we're going to find that another one of our viewers, a member of viewing community of Extreme. Shout out to Hafley. He goes up the inside and makes the move stick. And I actually take that chicane horribly, so I'm a little bit off the 8 ball here, and I get nudged wide here. Try to join the track and not create too much chaos, but I end up being inside here, and as a result of going off the track twice, they give me 2 half-second penalties. And again, there's a lot of traffic here, a lot of potential for carnage coming down the back straight. We're gonna loop it forward and make sure that we don't crash. We see that P9 is actually ghosted, but it actually unghosts us in the middle of that turn. It was such an odd occurrence. Normally, it'll wait for the cars to be separated, but that time it did not. Now we're going to go into the next set of turns, and P7, he went off where we went off before, gains himself a half-second penalty, but we're not able to pass him quite there. Slow on this turn, and we go into the back of him, but fortunately we don't force him off circuit. Those tend to give us larger penalties. That's, oh, Ultra going off on the right-hand side. What happened there? We're going to go ahead and serve this 1-second penalty. Try to stick with P6. Have him help us in the tow to fuel save. We're going to skip ahead to the Porsche curves, and it looks like P7 did not get a good exit out of the last turn, which is kind of difficult to do when your tires are cold. Remember, we're still on the first lap here. He tries to go side by side through the last 2 bus stop chicanes, and that didn't work out too well for him, and we're going to move on. Now, here we have a situation which we probably should have tried to slow down a little bit more, but I didn't expect for them to go that much slower through the last turn into the back straight. So as a result, we bump him, and we're going to go absolute light speed to the last part of the back straight, and we're going to catch up here to Wally World 24. Are we going to be able to pass him on the left side? It doesn't look like we are, as we keep it in 6th gear, try and burn some fuel. Oh, we do. We get up into P6 halfway through the second lap. Again, we're going to try and avoid spinning out here, and it looks like we're right on the back of P5. Now, I think, yes, he has a 0.5 second penalty, so that's going to make it possible for us to go ahead and pass him. And as he serves his penalty here, and we're in the toe. We're going to go around the right side. We're going to keep it in 6th gear for a little bit longer than normal. And he's going to actually try to dive up the inside. That's not a good move because it compromises your exit there. And off he goes into the wall and into the distance. The Porsche curves are not really a place where you want to try to overtake. You really want to just, keep it tight to the racing line and, get a good exit coming out of them. And then we can see here we got a good exit and we're already catching out to P4. Now again, this is not a good spot to go overtake, but we actually cut the last corner and get a half-second penalty. But we're going to go ahead, use every ounce of the battery powder that we have, keep it in 6th gear, go on the inside, get that move done to go into P4. Oh, and went off there at the end. We're going to skip ahead, and we see that at the end of lap 3, another person going into the pits. That is not the right strategy. So we're sitting here quite a ways behind P1 and P2 going into lap 4. And we're actually going to skip ahead to the last lap. Now, as you can see here, I didn't notice this during the race, but if you looked at the mini map really closely, you're going to see that he stopped. And thanks to replay, we're going to be able to see what exactly happened to P1. He's just stopped. Alright, so he takes this turn a little bit too hot. He should have been able to recover, but he goes right into the wall. And that's actually going to get him an additional penalty of a second to bring his total to 1.5 seconds of penalties, which he'll serve later on in the lap. And 1.5 seconds actually proves to be a little bit too much. As we swing the camera around, you're going to see that Flea in P2, he's going to make his move before the Porsche curves and overtake him for the lead. Now, I said that following in the Porsche curves is extremely difficult, but Sir Roshan does a good job here of sticking with Flea, and he's firmly tucked into his slipstream. But we come into the end of the race here, and he's going to have to make a decision here. And it seems at this moment, he decides that I'm going to take this guy out and try to get back on track in time. Now we're going to cut back to me. I'm going through the Porsche curves thinking that P3, that's where I'm going to be. But you can see in the distance there, a little bit of smoke puff up. And they've gone off track, so we're going to go ahead and scoot past P2, scoot past P1, and actually get the win. Now, that win was actually a little bit of a gift. So we're going to try and get a win, quote-unquote, the hard way. So, the third race here, we're behind Monster Fox in second. We're going to go into the first S bend, and we get a little bit better of an angle, but we let him go ahead past because we see that he gets a half-second penalty there. And it's the beginning of the race, you just want to survive the first sector. As P4 behind me actually hits those bollards and gets slowed down. So right off the bat, it looks like it's going to be a three-course race here. degree Porsche race here. And because Monster Fox there is saving fuel, I don't want to fall too far behind P1. I'm going to go ahead and overtake him as we go into the first chicane of the back straight. Actually, I'm not sure if that's technically a chicane. You don't come to a dead stop there, so let's just say set of turns as we fast forward here to later in the lap. We're right behind P1, and we have from last behind us. He goes off to meet the barrier, and I go into the back of Rad 76 here. Try not to repeat that, but it compromises my exit here. Am I going to be overtaken? It looks like I'm just going to be able to hold on as Monster Fox in P3 serves his half-second penalty from earlier. We're not going to try to overtake Rad here before the Porsche curves, but we are going to try and hang with him in the slipstream. And you can just see here as we fast forward through, it's difficult to stay behind someone. But he went actually, he had a track limits violation there, got a half-second penalty. And we're going to try and catch him up. He actually pulls away quite a bit. And P3, AKG, goes ahead and he overtakes me. And I'm thinking here, I've probably used a little bit too much fuel. So let's stay in his slipstream for as long as we can. Save a little bit of fuel and see if he can pull us towards P1. He actually goes wide here, gets a half-second penalty, and I'm going to go into the back of him. I'm going to bump trap him because, you know, there's no sense in me overtaking him here. If I can push him along, our time improves. We're not fighting. He's going to serve that half-second penalty anyway, and I'm going to go ahead and try to overtake him in the penalty zone before the Porsche curves and see what we can do to catch up with P1. So here we are into this 90 degree right-hander. 90-degree right-hander. We're going to go right past them into the Porsche curves. Zooming forward here, and guess what happens? He goes into the pit. We have been gifted P1 again by someone on the wrong strategy. It's a fuel saving race, and if you fuel save, you'll be just fine. Now we're gonna fast forward quite a bit here to the last lap. Just make sure that we get through the Porsche curves okay. I had quite a bit of quite a few crashes here into the last part, and we actually go inside a little bit, and it was a little shaky, but we made it through. Down to the last section of turns, last few turns here. We're gonna bring it home and go ahead and get that P1, that hard-earned P1 after a week of racing. We finally did it. That's the end of the video, guys. So if you like what you saw, please be sure to come back, tune in, catch our next video, tune into the live stream. We are on YouTube, youtube.com/@McNaughty. That's my handle. Until next time, McNaughty, over and out.